be wondering, how do I know when to stop stitching and when to finish my thread? And that is a great question. It'll come really naturally to you once you've been stitching a few patterns, but in the beginning, I would say let's err on the side of caution and leave ourselves with plenty of thread to finish off and tidy away our tail. While it's tempting to just keep stitching and stitching, because you know that means you're going to have to rethread your needle soon, you'll probably end up finding it harder if you leave yourself with hardly anything to work with. So I would say finish off before your thread gets too short. So let me show you. I've got about 4 inches of thread left here, but by the time I fold over my tail, I've really only got about 3 inches. So I actually think this, as a beginner, is a good point to tidy away our thread and start a new piece. So I'll do one more stitch, and then I'll show you on the underside. So I could have kept stitching for a bit longer, but it would have got a bit tricky, and I've got a nice amount of thread left with in order to secure off my thread. So we'll do the usual method here of tucking under a nearby stitch, and then we're going to do that again. I'm not piercing the fabric, I'm just weaving my needle under the stitch. Then I can poke through that loop that I've left before I drew through all the working thread, form that into a knot, and now, because my thread wasn't so short, I can work some of my tail into my existing stitches on the back. Then I've got a little bit left, so I can just snip the tail nice and close. Oops. And then I can start with a fresh piece of thread.